the first 2 years of when I was in this business, and I got started in late 2019, early 2020, almost 95% was retail. So we were buying all these properties from other investors, and we would list them on our website. And 95% of our business was actually retail. So one by one, we were selling them for owner financing to people, I don't know, like who wanted to move out there with their RV or something like that. And, we used multiple marketing channels like TikTok, LandWatch, and all the other typical land marketing websites. But now we've really transitioned to a lot of our business is actually wholesale now.
So you're buying it from another land investor and then you're selling it to another land investor?
Yes.
Really? Wow. So what are the percentages? How does that work?
Yeah. So again, it's not as crazy profitable as as like a retail deal, but it's really nice because, for example, we just finished an acquisition a couple months ago of 380 lots in Izard County. So out of the 380, we're keeping 100 of them just to sell on our website for retail. But then all the other remainder of the portfolio, we're actually just selling to other investors. And the margins are like nowhere close on wholesale. It's maybe it just depends. It really, because we always depending on the relationship we have with the investor, the volume, like the size of their purchase, the pricing completely varies. But usually it's just like we keep some for retail and then we sell the others so that we can always keep buying more properties instead of just being like super flush on inventory and not and skipping on other deals because we have all of our funds tied up into inventory.
Yeah.
It almost makes you think. Go ahead, Ezra.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just really wise. Peter's, I think, dropped some wisdom bombs here that I don't want to neglect right away. First being the fact that he's recycling inventory is just such a good thing to look for, especially as the market's changing. People are talking about that. It's just good to stay somewhat liquid. And Peter, being a good friend of mine, I'll just share with everybody. He's given me some really good advice. I think it was one of the past times we hung out, Peter and I went to a spa together, and he was telling me that I needed to have a 5-year emergency fund. And, I was like, 5 years? Because I've heard 3 months, I've heard 6 months, 12 months. I've never heard 5 years before. And, I'm curious, and so I asked Peter, okay, why do we need to do it that way? Why 5 years? And he was like, Ajay, when you have a 5-year emergency fund, think about the level of clarity you have when you're making decisions. Literally anything can go wrong and you're going to be okay. Any recession could happen and you could weather it, unless something terrible happens and that's outside of our control. But generally speaking, he's got a really, really good head on his shoulders when it comes to cash flow management. I also just wanted to point out early on when Peter had said that, he got on LandWatch and just saw everybody that was selling land consistently under 20 grand. I mean, he's got great intuition for seeing opportunity. I don't know how many other land investors would get on and, look at all these other investors, and instead of being like, man, there's a lot of competition, Peter says, great, there's an opportunity. And he went out and then played the numbers game like all of us land investors do, right? Like you make enough offers and somebody's going to say yes. And he just happened to do this with investors. And now he's essentially done it enough times where he's created his own marketplace in a sense. So I just want to give Peter kudos and praise here because he has really done a phenomenal job these past few years creating something.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, on that 5-year emergency plan, I haven't heard that either, but I actually have enough money to last me for the rest of my life, provided I don't buy anything. So I'm kind of all set.
Now that's going to be hard.
Yeah. Seth says, if I don't eat for another 40 years, I'll be okay.
Sorry, kids. No more food ever. We're done.